I wish to stop thinking. Well, I suppose I'm doing better than I was a few years ago. I don't have quite the same existential dread, the bitter and undying adolescent sense that all is random and meaningless. I'm a bit more comfortable now with the fact of my existence on this spinning planet. But is my comfort born of growing confidence or complacency? And how do I know whether I'm getting more mature or just more numb? There are still so many questions that plague me, and I long for the freedom from this tangle. Yes, I wish to stop thinking. Are my motivations pure? How do I sort out my true intentions for my actions, and should I only act when I know my intent is good? I believe the best outcome of my life will follow if I truly do my best, but how can I be sure that I am? How do I measure the sincerity of my effort, the honesty of my intent? How do I sort out the subconscious voices subtly beckoning me in every which way? How much should I appeal to my rationality compared to my intuition? I wish to stop thinking. Did I ruin what we had? Is there such a thing as meant to be, and did I shatter it? If I hadn't said that one thing, if I'd faced that insecurity sooner, would we still be whole? They say regret is pointless, but isn't it how we learn? Isn't that why it lingers, carving lessons from the ache, and so I long for what could have been? And yet, is it true what they say? That if you were meant for each other, you'd still be together. What room does that leave for free will? Aren't we free to screw up what we hold most dear? And speaking of free will, how can it possibly exist if each event in this universe has a prior cause in one long causal chain? Wouldn't that apply to the firing of each and every neuron too? And how does quantum randomness tie into this? There's so much I don't understand, and I wish to stop thinking. I try for a moment to rest in the presence of God. And for a moment, I feel at peace, and I feel whole. But then, if God is loving enough to extend this embrace to me, what do I make of his sanctions of brutal violence and slavery in the Old Testament? I want to accept this warm divine love, but am I fooling myself? What if my longing for faith is born of fear, a craving for black and white answers to quiet my restless mind? Again, I question my motivations, chasing clarity in a fog of doubt. I wish to stop thinking. Trust is a scary thing. How can you ever trust someone fully if they're free to change? And how do I know if my boundaries are fair or just a veiled form of control? Am I too traditional, outpaced by a world that's moved beyond me? Are my values rooted in conviction, or are they merely the shadows of my insecurities? And speaking of insecurities, how long can you use those as fuel for self-improvement until it becomes corrosive, hollowing you out into a shell of who you once were? I wish to stop thinking. There are endless studies on every topic, a counterpoint for every point. Each political argument fortified by contradictory facts, too many to untangle or fully grasp. The noise is overwhelming, the truth is elusive, but falsehoods echo back and forth in infinite online chambers. It's strange, isn't it? The internet feels like freedom, but looks more and more like a prison. We're all captive to our prior beliefs, shackled by bias. How can two people burn with equal passion while standing on diametrically opposed truths? A ricochet between beliefs. I wish to stop thinking. A tension between perfection and progress. I wish to stop thinking. A war between the spirit and the flesh. I wish to stop